My proposal, I think, adopts the same general philosophy that Karen's does. It's not two separate components in the case of my proposal. It's bundled into one. But when I replace the existing mortgage interest deduction with this refundable credit, obviously part of the revenue, that could otherwise have been devoted to deficit reduction or to rate reduction ends up being used instead to provide more generous tax breaks at the bottom. Anyone who doesn't owe income tax today, anyone who doesn't itemize deductions today, anybody in the 10% bracket today, would be getting a bigger subsidy for home ownership under my proposal than they would under current law. So that's where I use part of the revenue to serve those goals. I think that's in general, an approach that should always be considered. These tax preferences are durable, they're politically popular, and we have to recognize that that's because they do attempt to serve or are marketed as serving some type of widely held social objective. And so a very promising strategy, I think, both politically and economically, is to say, let's curb the excesses or the misdirected aspects of these provisions in ways that will raise some revenue, but at the same time, let's actually put something in there that will more directly and more effectively serve the objectives that have always been associated with these things. So I think that's an approach that should always be considered in the tax reform debate. Obviously, the way it plays out depends on the exact provision involved, but I think it's a sound general approach.